Hi, Professor Veteran. So this is going to be my persuasive speech. I intend for the speech to be a little bit longer than my last ones. I did a lot of avid research on it, and it's kind of a topic that has kind of hit home for me because I personally am addicted to vaping, nicotine, and I just want to do a lot of research on it and kind of figure out what's going on. So I refer to a device in here. It is called a Juul. So this is what it actually looks like. Here, like the actual device, and it actually contains flavored nicotine in these little pods. So to get started, people have used nicotine e-cigarettes and THC dry herb vapes over many years without any problems at all. And this actually happened about pretty recently, not too long ago, about a year ago, that people were getting very, very sick off of nicotine. There have been many problems with vaping there have not been many problems with vaping until black market THC cards enter the vaping market. So even though vaping nicotine is bad for you, it is not the cause of the vaping related illnesses. So people are actually dying from using these kind of things. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that people among 19 patients who died, a subset of the 34 total deaths for whom CDC had substance use data, 84% report using any THC contaminated products. So these THC carts, they were bought off the black market, and they contained something called vitamin E acetate. So when you inhale that into your lungs, it's very highly likely that you will die, which I'll get into in the later part of the speech. So, a small number, 16%, said they've used only nicotine products, but the CDC also warned that there might be underreporting of cannabis use since non-medical marijuana was still legal in many states. So people are actually lying about it. Currently, there's a vaping crisis that's hurting people, especially teens. Not only does vaping nicotine lead to health problems and addiction, THC carts are the main source of the vaping-related illnesses that have been happening nationwide. So the main goal of my speech is to persuade people to not use the THC carts and kind of go over what's going on with this whole crisis and kind of defunk it a little bit. So the main controversy wraps around the teen vaping epidemic. Many teens are becoming hooked on nicotine because of poor marketing strategies and intriguing exotic nicotine flavors, which have been a main cause in the teen vaping epidemic. So kids are able to get flavors like cotton candy and strawberry and just like Arctic ice and banana and strawberry watermelon, kind of stuff that wouldn't interest like older smokers. So young non-smokers have turned into smokers not by choice but by outside influencers. So juuling, that's the act of using this device here. This is called a Juul. Has many young adults hooked on nicotine because they see it as harmless. In reality, they are becoming addicted to nicotine. Juuls are meant to stop smokers from smoking cigarettes, not for non-smokers to start smoking, if that makes sense. Yeah, like I said before, flavors like mango, cotton candy, and strawberry appeal to young teens. Oh, excuse me. Kids are not intrigued by the tobacco flavors because they taste bad and resemble smoking a cigarette, which the adults like. So these nicotine pods, they don't contain the harmful chemicals and substances that a cigarette contains, and that's why they seem to be safer. But we don't have a lot of research right now to know if the Juuls are actually safer than cigarettes. So Juuls use young models for advertising to draw on teens to use and buy their products. Young models are able to draw on young consumers because they think it is acceptable to use these products since their peers use them too. So many kids get hooked on this stuff because they see their friends using them, whether like at parties or just kind of out with their friends in school, all that kind of stuff. And many kids take their nicotine devices to school and work because they're able to use them without anybody knowing. They produce very little smoke, and they don't smell like anything. What we know today about this stuff is not very much at all. We just know that nicotine is addictive regardless of the form of it, whether it's nicotine pouches or chewing tobacco or smoking cigarettes or vaping devices. So Juul has not been out for a long period of time, so researchers don't know the long-term effects. So what we do know is that nicotine is very addictive. Some of the e-cigarettes brands are on the market consist of Smock, Posh, Stigs. Smock is actually like a brand name, so you can get like mods, you can get all these like different devices. So like Posh and Stigs, they're disposable, so once they run out of battery, you can just throw them away. They all deliver different amounts of smoke, and they all kind of hit differently. So when I refer to a hit, it's like the stronger it hits the back of your throat, and also the more nicotine and the amount of smoke goes into your mouth. Juul admits that it was not their best foot forward to advertise young adults for Juul because they realize now that how much of a crisis this actually is. They just want to be like one of the top dogs in the market, and they wanted to promote their product and get it all over the place, which they did. So Juul was pretty much the start of everything, but now because of Juul, like all the vaping is coming to an end as well. So the real cause for the vaping related deaths. This is kind of something I wanted to get into. This is actually really interesting. Even though vaping nicotine is bad for you, it's not the cause of the vaping related deaths. The deaths are a result of vaping black market THC cards that are not safe to inhale into the lungs. It's possible some type of ingredient has been introduced into the U.S. supply chain that's sickening people. One potential contaminant is what it says, vitamin E acetate. Of the 225 THC contaminated products the FDA has tested, as of October 11th, 47% contained the oily substance, which is used as a cheap thinner in vaping products. So it'll actually kind of like water down the substance, so it's able to produce that smoke. The liquid form of THC is made by someone off the streets, added to the cart, and then sold to buyers. So you never know what people are putting into these because first of all, it is very illegal to sell these, and second of all, people like, it sounds bad, but people are just trying to get high and they really don't know what they're smoking. Just to make this clear as well, the Juul that I have is just nicotine, so it's just kind of a nicotine rush. There's no THC, there's no other chemicals like that will make you high or really will make you sick. There is something called getting nic sick, so you can actually ingest too much nicotine, or if you swallow nicotine, you'll just kind of feel sick to your stomach for a little bit. So moving on, people have used nicotine vaping devices for many years without any like big health related issues. The difference between these vaporizers and THC carts is that these vaporizers are regulated and sold in stores. So these have been known to include pesticides that have resulted in many of the vape-related illnesses. Even when THC carts become legal in Illinois, the black market will be moving THC products still. So that would also be, it's just still going to be a problem. One thing that I did find, I'll make this quick, but Juul ended up shipping out 1 million contaminated mint Juul pods to the public after being asked by regulators to add expiration dates to the product. Juul didn't do anything to prevent it anymore. So they didn't fix their mistake, and they also left off of their boxes and stuff of the actual ingredients and how much nicotine it contained. So they were false advertising to their consumers. The CEO actually got fired. He got in a lot of trouble because he said he didn't really care about his consumers. In quote, he said that they're pretty much just a bunch of drunk idiots coming in and buying my stuff, so why would they notice or care about the quality of the Juul pod, which I find crazy. And and Juul didn't act on adding the expired label on packaging. They didn't recall their expired Juul pods. So the consumers didn't know they were consuming expired pods. And kind of a counter argument, like the actual main focus or the main goal of a Juul or a vape is, can vaping help you quit smoking? In a short answer, I would say yes, it can help you. But e-cigarettes have been proven. Yeah, e-cigarettes have been proven to help quit smoking traditional cigarettes, which is what they are made to do. But I would not recommend people who don't smoke at all to start smoking, because I feel like the vaping products are very, very addictive, and I wish I never would have started. Yeah, even if someone got off of smoking cigarettes by replacing with an e-cigarette, they will just then become addicted to the e-cigarette rather than traditional cigarettes. Yeah, it might be safer and it might get them off of the traditional cigarettes, but they will still be addicted. Like, nicotine is a very hard chemical or drug, whatever you want to call it, to get off of, because of the high and intense withdrawals. And yeah, so the chances of relapse are even higher than the chances are that they'll quit smoking completely. So I was actually taking or using Zins. So what that are is kind of like a tobacco pouch. It's about this big, a little white pouch, and it's just pure nicotine salt. And you put it into your lip, and it just takes the craving away from wanting to smoke. So that actually worked for 2 days, and I didn't smoke for 2 days. I've been smoking for about 1.5 years, and they definitely worked, but I had a big relapse. So I'm not actually on those anymore. So in conclusion, vaping is the key factor to the health epidemic among teens. Even though vaping nicotine raises many health concerns, TH-filled cartridges are the reason behind the vaping-related deaths. Many people believe that vaping nicotine is what is causing the deaths. The reason they do this is because the media groups all vaping stuff together. They don't specify whether it's just plain nicotine or if it's actual marijuana or amphetamine acetate. They just think vaping as a whole. So my final thought on this issue is that vaping is a good alternative to smoking cigarettes, but one who doesn't smoke should definitely not start smoking. Everyone that doesn't vape that I run into, like, I cannot tell them enough, like, please do not start doing this. It's a very bad habit. It is very, very expensive. At one point, I was probably spending $80 a week on this stuff, which is a lot of money. I would be a lot wealthier if I wasn't doing this. This suppresses your appetite, and you will have some very intense withdrawals, and it sucks. Vaping nicotine is highly addictive, but I think if used correctly, it can help you quit smoking completely. So this was just kind of a topic that really hit home with me, and something that I really enjoyed researching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.